Hello everybody, this is The Last Raider, and we are back with another video. This time, kind of getting away from all the stuff that's been going on, all the entertainment stuff I normally do, talking about Star Wars, Disney, comic books, things like that. And getting into a dumbass video that I saw on the internet coming from an anti-Second Amendment or anti-civil rights group who is intent on taking away what the Constitution says is protected from the government, which is your ability to defend yourself. Not just defend your life, but defend your family's life as well. And they brought out this really stupid-ass commercial, which we're going to go over. I'm just going to play it and let y'all see how stupid this is, tell you how I feel about it, and then give you an example of why these people are so evil. Anyway, continuing.
Excuse me. Hey.
Okay, so a couple of problems with this right now. They're trying to make the argument that because he can't fire a whole lot of rounds, that somehow this was supposed to be safer and our forefathers didn't envision the AR-15. And I would say that's stupid. There are examples of guns back in the day that fired multiple shots. There was a multi-shot musket, I believe, that fired up to 15 rounds, which is past the 10-round magazine capacity that a lot of these anti-gunners like to put out there. There is also multi-shot air rifle that was used by Lewis and Clark. A lot of gunships, a lot of ship captains would use a weapon called a puckle gun, which had, I think, like a chain, sort of like a chain-linked set of already preloaded casings. These would be rotated over and fired, and they fired an explosive shot. They could fire up to 20 rounds in just a few minutes. It was not like there weren't weapons out there that could fire multiple rounds within a matter of a few minutes without having to be reloaded. Also, these people make a stupid argument here, because they make the argument of, oh, we should do it just like the founders intended. Well, here's the problem with your little argument here. If you understand history and how guns worked back in the day, yes, there were single-shot weapons similar to this, but this is a musket. This is not a rifle. The Army, at the time, if you look up hybrid warfare back then was invented and utilized by George Washington. The idea was part of hybrid warfare was the standing army, which would have been the Virginia Blues of the colonies, would move to towns to defend them, while the militia would then operate and harass the British Army and wear them down. In other words, make life difficult for them, to the point where they would have to pull back afterward and move to a position to resupply after being harassed, and then they would try to take another town. Washington would then move to that town with the Virginia Blues with his standing force and pretty much force them into a stalemate, bog them down pretty much. Another aspect of it was to combine citizen militias with a standing army and mix muskets with rifles. And there's a big difference here, because if you know how militaries operated back then, the military will buy the least expensive, most effective weapon of the time. Least effective weapon, or most effective, least expensive weapon was the musket. Now, a lot of people don't understand why it took big, long columns of men firing one right after the other or simultaneously into each other, why that was done. It was not some kind of honor or bravery or something. It was because a musket per shot or per kill required 1,000 shots to be fired in order to hit a single target. That's how inaccurate it was. You had to fire 6 times with something like this guy's holding in order to hit one man-sized target at a couple hundred yards. Do you know how many shots you had to fire from a rifle to hit a man-sized target? Anywhere from 1 to 2. You have 1,000 shots to hit a man-sized target. At the same distance, the rifle can do it within 1 or 2 shots. On average. The rifle was a vastly superior weapon. Accuracy makes a big difference with a ranged weapon. So if we're going by these people's argument, the citizenry should have the very best weaponry available, and the military should have just about whatever works. If we're going by these people's logic right here. A lot of these morons at these anti-Second Amendment groups, they're really fucking stupid. Most of their knowledge comes from Hollywood. They want you to get rid of your guns. At the same time, these are the same people who are saying, "Oh, we need to defund the police and everything." Let me ask these people something right now, because you can't have it both ways. I have an example here, if YouTube will bring it up. This example comes from CNN, and it's a really good one. I would like to ask a question. If there was no gun in this situation, and you liberals, because I'm going to put this in the comment section of this video, and I want y'all's opinion on my channel. What would you liberal fucks do in this situation that we have on video? Just watch this shit.
It looks like a scene from The Shining. Dramatic new video is now revealing an attempted murder almost a year ago in Idaho that seems straight out of the script of a horror film.
Now, the guy, before we continue, a bit of clarity here, because CNN doesn't clarify this. This dude here is in the bottom floor of an apartment building. He's one floor underneath what's happening. He sees the glass being shattered, figures out who it is, and decides, I'm going to stay in my home, not provoke this man, and protect my family. Okay? He's not going looking for problems. He's basically saying, I'm going to shut the door and hope this nonsense calms down. Okay?
James Svengross heard screaming and saw breaking glass falling from the balcony of the apartment above his. He set up a video camera to document the case.
Locks up the door. He has no intention of going out and fighting this.
Into his own home.
Do not let him in.
Svengross's neighbor, Twain Thomas, intended to kill. His weapon, a machete.
Hey, you stop! Stop, Twain! I gotta get my... Calm down! Calm down!
Svengross was prepared.
Now, without the gun, I want to know what you liberals would do in this situation. Because y'all are defunding the cops all over the country. To the point where in many cities, they aren't even showing up for certain things. They're not showing up for certain crimes. There are areas of the country. There was one area where they told a guy, where some dude had been injured, and they told them, can you pick him up and move his body outside of the zone so that we can pick it up, because they don't have the manpower to go in there and get the guy. There's no police protection in a lot of places. So if I can't call the police, lefties, I need a fucking gun. And I need the biggest gun with the largest magazine I can legally buy. Because at the end of the day, it's me versus whatever comes through that door, and I don't want enough firepower. I want overwhelming force. Do you know why? It's not because of my stuff here in this house. It is to protect my life and the life of my wife and the life of my kid. If I could trade off my expensive gaming PC and those people would leave my house and leave my wife and kid unmolested, hell yeah, I'd trade the PC off. But I know damn well that's not going to happen. It is not about protecting worldly possessions here. It's because my kid deserves to grow up. My kid deserves to reach adulthood. And my daughter also deserves not to be raped to death by some dipshit with a machete walking through the door. I'm sorry if y'all people can't fathom that because you live in a gated community in your ivory towers. But most of us living out here in reality, in the real world, where we have no buffer, no protection. It is us versus every horror that is out there. We're going to have our guns, whether you like it or not. And since y'all defunding the police, hell, a lot of y'all running out there grabbing guns now. It's why we have a firearm and an ammunition shortage. But really, in the comments, I'd like to know, what would you do if this maniac comes barreling through your door, just rips your door to shreds with a machete and walks in intent to kill you? He goes, here.
Shots hitting Thomas in the chest.
This guy even admits it.
After just 7 kicks and hacks, Thomas walks through Svengross's splintered front door. The video goes black, but what we can hear is a muffled...
Just listen to what this guy says.
Stay down, Dwayne. Stay down. I didn't want to do that. Why did you do that? You were going to kill me. Well, then I did the right thing. You did?
Thomas is a...
Tells the guy, you were going to kill me. And he says, yeah, you're right, I was. Dude, this guy here in the picture, he's suffering from PTSD. He had a mental episode, didn't know what he was doing. He's military trained. He is a military serviceman. A soldier is trained to kill. And he had a mental episode of PTSD. Do I feel sorry for this guy? Yeah, I do. I wish he didn't have these problems. But in the moment that guy comes through the door, you're going to what? You're going to what to this guy? He comes through the door with a machete. He's got hand-to-hand combat training from the military. He is trained to kill. He is trained to fight. And now he's having a mental traumatic episode. He's a walking weapon. With a weapon, mind you, a machete, which you go down to Walmart and buy one of those for like $8. And you're telling me that this young man in the video that shot this guy didn't need the gun? Mind you, he didn't kill him. He just shot him and incapacitated him until the police got there. Firearm can incapacitate the hell out of somebody real quick. Puts them on their ass and makes them think about their life decisions. That's what a firearm is meant to do. It's not always meant to kill. It's meant to incapacitate or take a person down. That's why we went from a .30 caliber rifle down to a .556. Tiny ass little bullet. Very accurate. Will leave you on the ground screaming like a bitch. Whereas the .30 caliber is a big bullet and it'll kill you probably before you even hit the dirt. But really, what do you do in that situation? What do you do in this Joker, who's military trained, mind you, comes barreling to just rips your door into splinters? And with the intent of killing you. He even admits it in the video. He's going to kill the guy. For what reason? Nothing. This guy at the bottom apartment did nothing. He closed the door and hoped he went away. And the guy decided, I'm coming through there to kill this guy. I'm like, at what point, what do you do in that situation? I would love to hear it in the comments. What would you do in that situation? Personally, me, I've got a choice. I've got Sally on my hip. I've got Sakura, which is a samurai sword I have, sitting next to my bed. I got Francis, the shotgun. I got Matilda, my long-range AR. And I got Roxanne, my high-capacity AR, meant to just send bullets downrange. All I gotta say is there's some options in my house. Okay, I got a couple of girls that can get the job done, and each one of them is an expert in their field, alright? They just need me to point them in the right direction. Anyway, folks, I'm The Last Raider. Kind of a different video. If you guys enjoyed it, yeah, tell me if you enjoyed the video in the comments. I may do more Second Amendment stuff videos if y'all seem to enjoy it. I get enough views on it. Anyway, stay safe, folks. Stay frosty. See you guys in the next video. Bye-bye now.